Hey guys, I want to make this real quick, man. I don't believe as of now I have the solution for this crisis that we up against, meaning Western world women. Not all Western world women, but it's safe to say a great lump sum, a large portion of women, especially in major cities, man. And like I say, one bad apple spoiled a bunch, and I want to be clear, man. Not all women, but this masculine mentality that Western world women have, man, it's causing a lot of conflict, man, for men and women to clash, and feminine versus masculinity versus it just being the ultimate combination, man and woman. And I say that because even though I'm married, I deal with a lot of Western world women. I interact. I'm out and about. I'm social, and the mindset. I got to be strong. I got to show men that I'm just as tough, and that's the mentality. And it's like, if the men are gonna be men, or the men are naturally masculine and men, why is it we need you to be masculine? Like, imagine me as a masculine man having to date or marry a masculine woman. Like, you look like a woman, some of you, you feel like a woman, but then your mindset is that of a man. Man, this is dangerous on so many levels. It's dangerous, and we witnessing it as I speak. I believe the powers that be, some would say the government. Uh, I'm convinced this is by design, that the women have been weaponized to challenge the man, and on what we know, one of the oldest plays in the book, Divide and Conquer. We keep them divided. We can tax them both. The children can be sent to our institutions for us to further indoctrinate them and program the minds of the children at a young age. Because if both parents are working, then we have 8 hours to X amount of hours a day to program the minds of the youth. And so I really believe that these women have been weaponized to go against us, to keep that division. And, to live in America this day and age, it takes two. To procreate, it takes two. I know a lot of folk in this day and age, they getting a surrogate. They doing they going to the sperm bank, and they got all type of scientific ways for you to usher in life now. Versus the original way. Through the dance of life. And love making process or what have you. But like I say, for years, women have always weaponized their emotions. And so a lot of times, them knowing that they don't have brute strength to use excessive force to take something from you, or to have their way. And so a lot of times, what we witness is manipulation from these women, and not all, but from these women, we witness manipulation, finessing, gaslighting, and all it is, to be able to again have pull and to get their way. And the reason I say that, I believe the powers that be, our government, have this by design, because again, it's one thing to say, what, look, we can tax both individuals on labor. Not just that, corporation and businesses are able to thrive, by keeping them single and individual. You have a better chance of controlling them both. And not just that, of course, women tend to spend more money when they're single, whether it's to maintain their car, whether it's to pay for lawn care, lawn service, whether it's to maintain a home, to do all of the things that their husband would normally do, but when you don't have, a husband around, then, again, you tend to work harder. And remember, pressure was made for shoulders, not waist. So a lot of time when these women, enter into the workforce and they working these long hours and they stressed out and they frustrated and they carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders and trying to balance life and children. I mean, you can be a strong woman all you want, Western world woman, a black woman, a strong white woman, Asian woman. That Western world mentality, again, gave birth to that mentality that I can have it all and I can do it all. And only until that pressure hit and you find yourself getting frustrated, depressed. And again, a lot of times, you have to make that executive decision. So if that means, hey, I'm going to sacrifice my love for the family or for my children, for my happiness, then a lot of women are doing it. But on a greater scale, when you look at us as a whole, as a human race, uh, it's detrimental to the collective, to the whole, because on one end, we've all heard the saying, or if you haven't, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. It's as though when women don't get their way and things don't go the way they want, or when you don't support their beliefs and you don't pander to them, then it's like, you know what? The world must pay. I didn't get my way. You don't support how I feel and my beliefs and, support what I'm doing, then screw you. And, feel my wrath. One of those 7 deadly sins, wrath. And it's like they're left to wreak havoc amongst the rest of the community by saying, you know what? Hey, I'm not happy. No one will be happy. Hell has no fury like a woman scorned. And so, like I say, I deal with a lot of single mothers, man. And a lot of these boys, they grow up sassy. They talk back to their parents, and some decent enough to have sense when they're out in public, but they throw these tantrums, temper tantrums, and fuss back with their mom. And the crazy thing is, if I was to ask many of these young boys, "Hey, look, did you have a father growing up in the household?" For the ones who like, "No, I didn't," say, "Have you ever had to, raise your voice to talk back to your mom more than 3 times before since you've been a teenager?" Many of them have, and that's what I'm coming to find out. Many of them have. And if asked the question like, "Hey, you see me and you see my son, if my son was to raise his voice at my wife and talk back to her, what do you think will happen?" And we all know the answer. Me as the father, I'm there to check it. It's not going to happen. You don't run my household, let alone talk back to my wife, the one who's going out of her way to make sure our deep freezers stocked, our refrigerators packed, preparing a full course meal, food that we enjoy and like and love. And you think you finna be in my house where you don't pay the bills, but you in my refrigerator. And you think, nah, having a man there, I'm going to check it. And then like, dang, I probably thought I could pull it with her, but I can't because he here. So a lot of those guys that grow up, they grow up sassy. And like I say, they're going to do one or the other. They're going to challenge their mom and raise their voice and argue with her. And they're going to grow up sassy. And to a lot of these single moms, I'm noticing, yeah, we need more real men. We need more real men. Until a real man show up and come around. And a real man have standards. A real man have discipline. And then they come to the realization like, nah, I can't date no man like you. Well, this is the real man. The real man, you're not finna finesse and gaslight and manipulate a situation and to control. No, not to control me. Manipulating and finessing, and to get your way, that's not gonna work. And not just that, a real man have standards. You don't define no man based off of his income. You don't define no man based off of his height, based off of his looks, based off of some great, that 3-letter word, the dance of life, No, and that's crazy because, like I say, day in, day out, women can sit here and tell you what a man's supposed to be and what type of man they want and what type of man they like. I want a tall man. I want a man who make a lot of money, or a man who gonna pay the bills. I want a man who know how to change the tire. A man who gonna clean the gutters or do the yard work. A man who doggone gonna talk to the contractor when he come to the house and take care of certain things. And they'll give you a long list. And then you ask them that one simple question. What is a wife? What do you bring to the table? What do the real man want? And then it's a problem. You're just supposed to take her because she's the girl and she willing to lay on her back. You're just supposed to accept whatever they give you. That woman can be overweight. That woman cannot be as attractive, but you're just supposed to accept it. Come into the relationship with 1, 2, 3 children. Like, and the crazy thing is when you speak on it, they get mad. So you don't even supposed to talk about it. And then I'm talking about the universal excuse, I was young. So nobody can tell you nothing when you was young. Nobody can tell you nothing now. So these women are literally off the chain. Off the chain. Free to vote, free to doggone be sexually liberated, free, off the chain. Work like a man in whatever job position, career you wish to do. They off the chain. And it's disrupting the balance. You know, when it comes to family, when it comes to man and woman being the ultimate combination. And it has an effect on us all. A huge effect on our community. Because we're divided. Look, united we stand, divided we fall. And so, you know, it's this war going on, and people they ignoring it. People are ignoring it, you know. And the sad thing is, like I said, as long as women are having babies and then the other half is not there, the man, then it's just spiraling out of control, because then a lot of them are left to turn the son over to the authorities, whether that mean, hey, go and join the military force, go and join the police force, go to their jail and their prison and let that make you a man, go to their boot camp. And we witnessing it, and that's what's happening out here, man. I mean, it's happening right up on our nose, and we seeing it day in and day out. Yeah, enough people not talking about it. And then, like I say, the vetting process is like, a lot of people, they don't even know how to, they not familiar with courtship and vetting, these young folks. And, it needs to be talked about. And like I say, we got to continue to address it. And, men have to take back their rightful place and know their role, not just young high school guys, but most guys need to have a male mentor and, remain studious and, of course, ask the right questions, use the advice so we can build. So we can build, But start with the dialogue. And if any of you need to check the statistics, it's true. A lot of these women that are having babies are giving babies to the same dudes. When I say same dudes who already have baby by other women. And they turn around and then they give them a baby. So now this dude has not only one baby mama, 2 baby mama, but 3 baby mamas. Because they not having sense enough to say, wait a minute. If he have a child already and he ain't playing house, what convinced me he gonna play house with me? And I ain't even getting no ring. So how serious is this? They don't care. They making decisions based off of their temporary emotions. Their emotions only temporary. It's like a roller coaster ride, and they just down for the ride. One minute they feeling good, at that moment, you know what I mean? They feeling that person, everything feel right until it's no longer right anymore. And then they get mad and resent the guy. And they won't be held accountable. They will not take any accountability whatsoever. That's the sad part. That's the dangerous part. And, some will even go as far as using the child against the doggone meal. And in their process, hurting the child, doing more harm than good. Hell has no fear like a woman scorned. And guys, man, y'all got to be, man, who a lot of y'all simps, a lot of y'all beta males, but y'all got to step y'all game up. But this stuff is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to make a video just for y'all, man. Like, I'm gonna have to, because again, many of you, man, y'all doggone, you lack guidance. You lack guidance. You don't have no real man around you. You got a bunch of yes men around you. And so, y'all part of the problem. When it comes to that brotherhood, man, birds of the same feathers flock together, man. But when it comes to the women, if they would just close the gate and shut the door, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. Shoot. And like I say, you don't have to be no six-figure brother. You don't have to be rich. You know what I mean? Just shoot, man. Put a helmet on your soldier, man. Put a helmet on your soldier, man. Quit lying to kick it. You know what I mean? Shoot, with these women being able to control who they sleep and kick it with, doggone, that should be enough to just put an end to it, and, raising the bar and having high standards. But, hey, like I say, man, to be continued. Yeah, and I say to be continued when it pertaining to the fellas, man, yeah, to be continued. But that disrespect coming from the women of our community and just Western world women, period. Having something to prove, trying to be more masculine than the man. Again, those standards. I want a tall guy, and then they don't think nothing about the short man. I want a guy with a lot of money, six figures. They don't think nothing about the average brothers, or the average man. I don't want no 1 minute man. I don't want no itsy bitty man, who's packing just a little bit. I don't, like women say some of the craziest things, and then the minute you doggone have standards, it's the end of the world. You don't supposed to say nothing. We deal with enough. We go through enough. And then, it's the double standards. But like I say, man, I'm going to pick back up later. But it's what we're doing ourselves, man, because I do want to offer a solution. The solution would be to operate in femininity. When I say femininity, it's power in femininity. Be feminine. You ain't got to raise your voice with no dude, because you ain't finna jump up and fight him and beat him up and slam him around. You're a woman. You're a female. You're a lady. It's power in femininity. To give you an example, one of the most feminine public figures I've ever known and seen, and never got a chance to, never had the honor of meeting her, is Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Google that name. Notice all of her interviews. Notice everything about this woman. Very feminine. Notice her tone more than anything. She is a lady. I'm talking about very feminine. And that's just to give you an idea. But when it comes to this solution, man, quit ending the relationships, man. The bulk of relationships is business. If you got love as the foundation, you can build on it. You're going to have your ups and downs, and you put in work. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. And the reason I'm saying that, because 80% of relationships, according to statistics, all right? You can go to Pew Research Center, you can go to blackdemographics.com, and notice that 80% of women tend to end relationships, whether it's marriage, whether it's just relationships, period, because they ain't happy, and reconcilable differences or what have you. And that's not legit, man. You know, you have to put that work in. You got to put that work in, and that's part of it. Also, if you don't have children and you decide to have a children with your significant other, a child, children, holy matrimony, holy matrimony. You finna share your womb. You about to have a child. You about to build with this person and share 23 of your chromosomes. Make sure there's a bond and you build with that person. You know, that way you ain't just got no baby daddy because you just, again, riding that emotional roller coaster. You feel good at the time and you got caught up in the moment. Nah, man. Too many women make these doggone these childish choices, and then, oh, I was young, I ain't know no better. Well, I thought, get your ring first, close and keep the gate closed, man. You know what I mean? And again, you know, you control that avenue of the relationship when it comes to who you procreate with and open your legs to, right? And again, family is the cornerstone. It's the building block. Keep your family together. Exercise patience. Be a nurturer. Remain studious. Find your guy you respect. Let that guy lead as he should. You know, and again, be very supportive, you know, but remain feminine. I mean, that's who you are, and it's power in our femininity and being feminine. And so there's just some tips or whatnot. But when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to us as a race, when it comes to us as a people, when it comes to us as a community, we got to put in some work. We can't just sit back and let this become the norm, thinking women's supposed to be this masculine and this disturbed and frustrated and you know, with dealing with the world and the way that they're dealing with the world. I mean, it's like again, men versus women, and you know, it's like it's a war going on right now. So, you know, at very least, you know, we can, you know, have these dialogues, and many of us can lead by an example and show that, look, it can be done, and it's worth it. You know, but to the ones who done made all of these decisions, I will say this, and I'm gonna end it here. These decisions that you're making, and one of the best gifts the Most High God has given us is freedom of choice. There's consequences behind these decisions that you're making. There are consequences. You don't sit here and say, I'm going to take a bank and look at the good side of it. We're going to get the money, without looking at the other side. If you get caught, you do time, and you get put away. There's consequences. So know the difference and know the consequences, and ask yourself, is it worth it?